So, folks, just to comment on all this, so President Biden sitting down with President Xi in San Francisco at this Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Conference and talking about plain vanilla things like managing friendly economic competition or climate change or maybe better military communications or AI, artificial intelligence. Just kind of a friendly sit-down with a couple old-timers. Honestly, those were some of the topics, as our Edward Lawrence suggested. So, me, I could scream. In fact, I am screaming. Who is Joe Biden kidding? Climate change? Really? Here's what I'd like to talk about climate change. As I said, China is financing two wars against the United States by buying Russian and Iranian oil. Now, that's a climate change issue. It's also an issue that is damaging American security. It's also an issue that clearly reveals Xi Jinping's desire to replace the United States as the dominant power in the world. Of course, Xi's oil purchases are violating American sanctions theoretically backed by the Biden administration, but in fact, not enforced. Remember Ukraine? Neither the U.S. nor third-party countries nor private businesses were supposed to purchase or insure Russian oil. What happened to that? Of course, the Trump-Iranian sanctions, which by congressional mandate are still theoretically in place, where Joe Biden is theoretically enforcing them, have been completely abandoned. Now, that's an international political climate changer, as in Xi wants to displace America. As far as all the Green New Deal climate bunnies inhabiting the Biden administration, I doubt seriously if any of them advised President Biden to ask Xi why he's building 250 coal plants every year. But somebody should ask Xi, in this Biden-esque world of emergency climate threats that really don't exist, why he is using all those dreaded fossil fuel purchases to wreak havoc on the world. Just ask him. In public. With numbers, okay? China purchasing 1.45 million barrels per day at roughly $70 a barrel. So that comes to $37 billion for the Iranian mullahs so they can destroy Israel and the United States. China's buying 2.6 million barrels per day from Russia at around the same $70 a barrel, coming to roughly $65 billion in fresh cash for Russia so they can slaughter Ukrainians. Those are facts. But Biden won't ask about them because he lacks the moral clarity and the personal conviction to ask. Do you think President Biden will ask Xi why the United States is still running a roughly $350 billion trade deficit with China because of unfair trading practices? Or has anybody told Joe Biden that the trade gap with China is actually going to get worse because all the greeny EV batteries, solar panels, and rare earth minerals from Biden's Green New Deal army will be made in China? Former Trump trade advisor, Robert Lighthizer, notes all the U.S. cash exchanged for those huge trade deficits, that's been used by China to help finance terrorism and mayhem around the world to build up their military, including all the Chinese fighter jets buzzing Taiwan that came to a record 1,700 times last year, or the cash used to subjugate Hong Kong's democracy, or the genocide against Uyghurs, or the technology that went into those fancy Chinese spy balloons hovering over the United States, or all the money they're spending in our own backyard in Cuba, Central and South America, and cash for all that matters around the world, the Belt and Road infrastructure they're trying to build in Africa and elsewhere to spread their brand of Chinese communism and upend American influence in every corner of the globe. Why doesn't Mr. Biden ask Mr. Xi about those issues? Why not? Because Biden foreign policy, from top to bottom, is built on an architecture of appeasing our adversaries and our enemies. No deterrence. No strong actions to enforce a diplomacy of America first. No toughness, never peace through strength. And this foreign policy, which is stressed from Afghanistan to Ukraine, now to Iran, trying desperately to ignore the massive Chinese threat, has made the world a vastly more dangerous place. And that is my take.